What's up guys and welcome back to the channel. The first issue of the Darth Vader 2020 comic book series has been released, a series that details a point in Darth Vader's life that we know little about, and what the Dark Lord of the Sith did just after the events of Empire Strikes Back. The comic book will shed a little bit more light on Darth Vader's redemption and his path back to the light side of the Force and the decision that he ultimately makes to save his son in Return of the Jedi. The issue picks up immediately after Darth Vader's duel with Luke Skywalker on Bespin. Darth Vader is distraught here, but now he has full purpose and a mission. It is his goal to learn everything that he can about the young Luke Skywalker so that he can eventually sway him to the dark side of the Force. At the end of this issue though, there was an absolutely massive stinger, a revelation that according to Darth Vader and a droid in Darth Vader's possession that Padme Amidala has actually returned, or at least somebody that looks very similar to her, as again, it's good enough to fool Darth Vader himself, her former husband. So today we will break down exactly how Darth Vader got to this point and meets seemingly a resurrected Padme Amidala. The comic opens up with Darth Vader thinking on his duel with Luke Skywalker and the idea that Luke rejected him as well. Darth Vader feels as if everybody that he offers power and influence over does in fact end up rejecting him. First Padme, now Luke. He's distraught, and more than this, he's angry. Lord Vader now has purpose though, and he is resolved to learn as much as possible about Luke Skywalker. But more than this, Vader wants to learn exactly how Luke was hidden from him for so long, and he knows exactly where to begin. The desert world of Tatooine. Before Darth Vader departs on his mission though, he acquires a forensic droid, a droid known as Z67, a droid that will accompany Darth Vader on his journeys, and hopefully be able to break down exactly what occurred and why Luke was hidden from him for so long. The droid was heavily trained in all methods of collecting data as well as data analysis. Before departing, however, Darth Vader makes small modifications to the droid, ensuring that it will never talk, making it a well-kept secret who he is as the identity of Anakin Skywalker, his relationship to Luke Skywalker, and the fact that he was once the Jedi Chosen One. Darth Vader tells Z67 that if he ever speaks of what he is about to learn about Vader, he will self-destruct, leaving the droid with this final warning before they depart on their mission. Darth Vader then reveals everything to the forensic droid, that Luke Skywalker is the rebel pilot that destroyed the first Death Star, as well as his familial bond with Luke Skywalker and the planet that he grew up on of Tatooine. Vader and Z67 then head directly for the desert world. Unbeknownst to Vader, however, as he is heavily distracted, a group of bounty hunters is tracking the Imperial shuttle, desiring to hunt down and kill Darth Vader, waiting for him sneakily on the world of Tatooine behind an asteroid as Vader enters the atmosphere of the planet. The Imperial shuttle lands on the Lars homestead, a location Vader has not been for several years, a location of great pain for the Dark Lord of the Sith. He has flashbacks to his mother there, as well as his stepbrother, as he slowly, methodically walks around the homestead, now covered in blaster fire and ruin. He walks to the location where he had once expressed his hatred and rage toward the Tusken Raiders, and how he admitted to Padme Amidala that he slaughtered them all like animals, one of Skywalker's first major steps towards the dark side. He has even more flashes of his wife Padme begging him to stay with her, and then Yoda telling him that hatred leads to the dark side. And finally, Luke Skywalker sees a flash of his own son, Luke Skywalker, falling on Cloud City, the final person that has rejected Darth Vader and the path to the dark side of the Force, his mother, Padme, and now Luke. In fury, Vader exits the Lars homestead, igniting his lightsaber, as Vader encounters the most traumatic memory of all, the grave of his mother, Shmi. Just then, however, the bounty hunters take their opportunity to strike at Lord Vader as they perceive him as vulnerable. Little do the bounty hunters know, pent up with rage and fueled by the dark side, Vader is more dangerous than ever. Vader's cybernetic armor protects him from the initial attack from the bounty hunters as he simply stands there, then revealing his rage and slaughtering every single one of them with his lightsaber. None of the bounty hunters ever stood a chance against the might of the Dark Lord. Finding little evidence of Luke Skywalker on Tatooine, Vader and the droid then depart the planet, on course for Coruscant. It's within the former apartment of Padme Amidala that Lord Vader discovers the first real clue and secret to Luke. Vader wants to know if Luke was ever brought to the location, and if Padme was brought here following his encounter with his wife on Mustafar. He wants to know everything about the room and everything that occurred, as just then, Zed discovers a tracker. Zed discovers that this is transmitting to the planet of Vendexa, as we briefly flash to the planet and see a group of rebels fighting off a group of native creatures on the world. We even get to see a Gungan rebel here. As all hope seems lost for the rebels, a red lightsaber is ignited at the doorway, as Darth Vader butchers every single one of the native beasts, plowing his way to the location where this tracker has been transmitting, and deeper secrets of Luke Skywalker's origins. Just then, Vader is halted in his tracks, as well as Zed. Standing before the very eyes of Darth Vader was Padme, as the droid exclaims, "By the Maker." Unfortunately, the comic then comes to a close, as we'll have to wait for the second issue to discover exactly who this individual is. Clearly though, she holds a lot of significance, as even Darth Vader immediately identifies her as Padme. I do actually have a theory of who this individual is, and I do not believe that Padme has been resurrected, as the series seems to be hinting at. It is traumatic for Lord Vader, but I actually do think I have a pretty good idea of who this individual truly is. I think that this woman standing before Darth Vader that strongly resembles Padme is actually the handmaiden known as Sabe. Sabe was a decoy for Padme Amidala for several years, and following the death of Padme, actually resolved to learn exactly how she died, and what exactly occurred between Anakin Skywalker and Padme Amidala. It is revealed that after the events of the Clone Wars, Sabe, as well as Captain Tonra, resolved to find out how Padme died, forcing them to actually change their identities. And it would make sense that after they discovered more details on this, and maybe even Luke Skywalker, that they actually joined the rebellion. The resemblance does in fact make sense, and Darth Vader hasn't seen Padme Amidala in literally decades, so even somebody that strongly resembled Padme would be enough to throw off the Dark Lord even momentarily. Other individuals have suggested that Padme is actually a clone here, but I do not think that this is the case. Other people have also said that this could in fact be a hologram. However, there's no blue hue around this Padme as we see in the comic book. So I definitely do not believe that this is a hologram or a clone. I do actually believe, however, that this is the individual known as Sabe, and that she actually joined up with the rebellion following Revenge of the Sith and the conclusion of the Clone Wars, learning more secrets about Padme Amidala's death. Nonetheless, we'll have to wait until the next issue to learn more about this brand new mysterious figure. It is telling that Darth Vader immediately identifies her as Padme Amidala, his wife. But again, I do believe when concerning Padme that Darth Vader can be tricked, even though in nearly every other way, Darth Vader is extremely keen and intelligent. Anyway though, my friends, what are your overall thoughts on this comic book, as well as my theory on who this returned Padme really is? If you would like to keep up to date with this story and the next issue, hit that subscribe button. As always, my friends, I appreciate the continued support on the channel. May the Force be with you, and have a great day.